Let's talk about sex. Well, for most of my life, I never would have ever considered the possibility that I would one day be speaking about sex with other people. It's interesting how varied the topic of sex reacts in people. But I didn't think that sex and love could exist together. And I understand it's not true. So, sexual union is what the Bible originally referred to. Not the Bible, the original whatever. As marriage, marrying to two becoming one. Two becoming one flesh. That now you see why godly union is preceded by abstinence. Because it is safe to come into union with another human if God is there. There is a part of the human psyche there is a state of being for a human that has experienced fragmentation of the soul, hedonism, reckless abandon, comes in many forms. But humans that are desperate to see light and life may have to claw through an immense amount of darkness in this life. And what I mean by that is there are parts of us that we reject, ignore, deny, because it doesn't feel safe to acknowledge that about ourselves, because we take it personally, because we hold ourselves to such unrealistic standards. The things we're able to forgive others for, we struggle to forgive ourselves for. So we are who we are until we remember how to be who we really are. Because everything that is not good, that is channeled through us, is just a way of seeing the world filtered through our childhood trauma. So I had sex taken from me at the age of 13. And by that I mean my choice to experience healthy sexual relationships, even if we exclude the God being present. At least if you're coming into agreement with another human where, well, we're just going to do this, the intention is pure, then for the most part humans just do sex, whatever that means. And I tried to do sex, 555. I tried to work out how to merge with another human, physically, spiritually, emotionally and otherwise, whilst thinking about what I was doing and battling this inner critic, judge, stern, religious parent figure and try and last longer than 37 seconds. And it's like that. That's like trying to play a game of pool with a length of rope. No, it's not. But that's besides the point. So, in my before then. So at the age of 13, I was activated against my will by demons. Let's have it straight, because demons have wanted my seed, my energy, my genius since before I knew that I could produce those things. So that's what I'm saying by activated. But what a gift. Even if it took 25 years. So I had an unhealthy idea about sex, and then going through school, when I got into school on the Monday after that incident that changed my life forever, shortly after that, people were made aware of what had happened. So I had no choice but to wear that as a badge of honour and speak about it as if it hadn't affected me. But not only that, as if I was proud of it, because you can imagine, right? It's quite a big score in the peer pressure. But it also happened around the same time. A boy I was close with, also, it came out that he had been having a relationship with a friend of ours' mom. And that was in the newspaper. What is this life? Eh? So, I had several sexual relationships while I was in school. I had no choice because something had been unlocked in me. There was a spirit that wanted to be fed. Now, I never heard anybody, the only time I ever heard anybody speaking about sex was if they were making a crude joke or something, if they'd been drinking, as opposed to normally not being like that. Or like, don't know if any of you are aware of Viz magazine, but I found Viz magazine once. My dad had a copy of that. That's just like a comic book for supposed adults, but it's not great humour. And so then into my adult life, where I just needed a mother, really. But I've not always been this magnetic and self-confident. But as I aged, I became more confident, and so I think there was an element of sexual magnetism occurring. But one of the part of the work that I've had to be engaged in this life is to reverse, end, otherwise dissolve ancestral stuff such as seduction, that when I have been in survival mode or when my ego has been very much center stage, I have unconsciously or sometimes consciously allowed my being to seduce other humans. Not like, and I don't mean as far as to be having sexual, no, not like that. Just to feel the attention and attraction. And it's like, it's not like, that's not who we are. We don't need to be, look at me like that. If anything, I'd rather people don't look at me. I'd rather people look at themselves. You get me? So I never formed healthy attachments in relationships. So sex was just a thing to be done, or it only happened when it was in pure hedonism energy, because, you know, we had to drink or snort cocaine just to feel close enough to ourselves. But now I'm in touch with my body. I'm in touch with the very necessary sexual aspect of me. That is my life force. Sex is for procreation, creation, joy, and fun. Have sex with your wife or your husband. Until then, have sex with yourself. Don't be ashamed. I don't mean go out in public. No, I don't mean like that. I love you anyway. And I love sex, it turns out.